Hello students, starting with the new chapter, that is tissues. Now, in this chapter, what do we have to start? We need to start with the plant and the animal tissues. So, what do you understand by tissues? Now, before we start to understand the meaning of tissues, we need to know what are these tissues made up of. What are these tissues made up of? These tissues are made up of group of cells. Now, a group of cells. Before that, tell me what you understand by cell. So cell, I can say it is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Yes, that is what is defined as the cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. That means all the life begins from cell. All the functions are performed inside the cell. The structure what we have formed, it is because of the cell. Okay. Now the group of these cells together form nothing but they form tissue. Okay. Now if you want to define tissue, what is a tissue? So tissue is nothing but they are the team of workers. What workers are we talking about? The workers over here are none other than the cells. Okay. So if you want a precise definition of a tissue, it is the group of similar cells which are going to perform specific function. That means in your body you must be having millions and millions of cells. Now all these cells must be performing different functions, right? For example, if you consider your respiratory system, right? So respiratory system, all the cells of the respiratory system would combine to form a tissue, okay? And they would be responsible to perform only one function, and that function would be that of respiration, okay? In fact, most of the plant and the animal body, the higher plant and the animal body. Now when I say the higher plant and animal body, now lower members of plant and animal, like for example the algae, which is the lower members of the plant. Also the lower members of animals, like for example the sponges, their body shows cellular level of organization. Okay. On the other hand, if I talk about the higher members of plants and animals, they definitely are going to show the tissue level of organization. That means in their body, you would see that the cells have started to combine, resulting in the formation of the tissue. Like for example, in humans, if you would see, you would definitely see that the epithelial tissue, yeah, that is a type of a tissue that covers the entire skin. You would also see the muscular tissue. Now, what is muscular tissue made up of? It is definitely made up of muscular cells. What are these cells responsible for? These cells are responsible for the process of contraction. And the moment they contract and they relax, they bring about different types of movements in our body. Okay, this is about the animal body or the human body. What about in the plant body? Same pattern. You would see that in the plant's body there are different type of the conducting tissues. You must have heard about the conducting tissues, xylem and phloem. If not, we are going to discuss it in this chapter. But what are these conducting tissues? Conducting means transporting. What would these conducting tissues be responsible for? Definitely they are responsible for the conduction, for the transportation of what? For the transportation of water and food, also minerals, to all the parts of the plant body. Okay, so this is all what you all need to understand in the first part of this chapter, that is the introduction part of this chapter. What all you all understood in this part? First thing is the definition. Second thing, that It is the plant and the animal body that is made up of the tissue system. Okay, the entire plant and the animal body that is made up of the tissue system. Okay, now in the next part of the chapter, you are going to learn about the relationship between what is a tissue, what is an organ, what is the organ system, and how is an organism formed. My dear students, I once again would want to repeat that cell is the basic unit of life. Okay, it is the cell which combines together that forms tissue, the tissues that combines together to form organs that combine together to form organ system, different organ systems combine to form a complete organism. This is what is the relationship between this entire structure. So if you want to see in this chart, in this graph, yes, ये tissue के पहले आएगा cell. Okay, so it is the cell that forms the tissue that forms the organ that forms the organ system, and this organ system that forms the organism. Okay, now what is an organ? When all the tissues combine together and they perform the specific function inside the body, definitely what do they form? They form a particular organ. Okay, now I give a common example. The common example is that of a tongue. Okay, now it is this tongue that has the muscle cells, muscle tissue, muscular tissue. It has the nervous tissue. Apart from that, it has the external covering, that is the epithelial tissue. Okay, so here you all could see a organ, okay, a single organ which shows the presence of 3 different types of tissues. Okay, so epithelial tissue, nervous tissue and muscular tissue together forms a organ. Now what is an organ system? Okay, all the organ or multiple organs or many organs performing specific processes of your life. When I say specific processes of your life, can you all please think of certain life processes? Students, when I say think about certain life processes, when I talk about life processes, the different life processes would include respiration, it would include digestion, it would include reproduction, it would include excretion and circulation and so on. Okay, so movement is also one of the life process. Okay, so if I talk about many organs which are together involved to perform one life process, be it respiration. So do you all think that respiration can be performed only by your nose? No, definitely not. It is not only nose that is involved in the process of breathing, or it is involved in the process of respiration. It is nose followed by, no, it is not only nose, it is your nostrils, it is the nasal chamber, it is then your pharynx, then your larynx, then your trachea, then your bronchi, then your bronchioles, then your lungs. So there are so many organs involved, and then you form which perform one single process, and that process is your respiration. Okay, so this all organs together, what does it form? It forms your organ system. Okay, your organ system. Here I have mentioned an example of digestive system. Come on, let us consider one more example of digestive system. So, can you all think about digestive system? It starts from your mouth, it continues to pharynx, it then continues to your esophagus, then to your stomach, then to your small intestine, then to your large intestine, and ending to the anus. Okay, so this entire organs, all the organs together, which help in the process of digestion, that is breakdown of the food into simple substances, that is, which contribute in one single life process is forming one organ system, that is your digestive system. Okay. Now, when all these organ systems combine in your body, definitely what do we make? We make the body of this multicellular organism. Okay, that means we make the body of this human body, or if you take a simple example, like if you combine the root system and the shoot system, you can make a plant body, right? If you want to talk about a human body, so you take in consideration the respiratory system, circulatory system, digestive system. When you combine all these organ systems together, definitely you are going to make the body of an organism. Okay, so this is all about the relationships between the tissue, organ system and the organism. Okay, I hope this second part of the chapter is also very clear to you all. Okay, starting with the third part of the chapter, that's going to talk about the plant tissues. Okay, now what are plant tissues? Those tissues that are present in the plant body are called as plant tissues. We need to know that the plant tissues are being classified into two major categories. Okay, what are the two major categories of the plant tissue? They are meristematic tissue and permanent tissues. Okay, what are they? I repeat, meristematic tissue, A. I have given two subdivisions, A, meristematic tissue, B, permanent tissue. Okay, what is meristematic tissue? The cells which are rapidly dividing cells and which can give rise to new cells. Okay, those are called as meristematic tissues. Meristose means rapidly dividing cells. So here meristematic में meristose word आता है. So meristose means rapidly dividing cells, right? Permanent tissue. The word permanent itself says everything. The one which has stopped the process of cell division and which have taken up a permanent function, right? The one which have stopped the process of cell division and now have become permanent tissue, okay, are now the permanent tissue. Okay, so these are the two major types of the tissues. We need to in detail understand about both the type of the tissues, the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. What is meristematic tissue? What all we need to understand? One thing we need to understand about where are they present, what are its types, and what are the general characteristics of the meristematic tissue. Okay, three things: where is it present, what are its types, and what are the general characteristics, right? So based on the location of the meristematic tissue, they are being further classified into two types. What are they? Apical meristem or terminal meristem and cambium meristem, also called as lateral meristem. Okay, I hope it is not confusing. Okay, I would once again want to just repeat the plant tissues. Plant tissues are classified into two types: meristematic and permanent. Meristematic are rapidly dividing. Permanent are those which have stopped the process of cell division and taken up a particular function. Meristematic, based on their location, are classified into apical or terminal and cambium or lateral. ठीक है? Starting with the apical. Apical का मतलब होता है the one which are present at the tips. Okay? So these are the meristem. देखिए यहाँ पर I would want you all to focus on this diagram. Okay? Please focus on this diagram. Okay, I would want you all to focus on this diagram. Okay, so here this is the structure of the stem and this is the structure of the root. So these highlighted things what I have made, एपिकल का मतलब होता है एपिक्सिस पे प्रेजेंट होना, टिप्स पे. ओके, सो दीज मेरिस्टेम्स आर प्रेजेंट एट द एपिक्सिस ऑफ द स्टेम एंड एपिक्सिस ऑफ द रूट, एट द टिप्स ऑफ द रूट. So wherever at the apexes they are seen, it is obvious there these cells are going to undergo rapid cell division. When they undergo rapid cell division, what is going to happen? The cells are just going to get added. And when the cells are just going to get added, it is obvious what is going to happen to the plant. It is going to increase in the plant. Do you all agree? Yes? If the meristem is present at the tips is going to show rapid cell division and the length of the plant is going to show increase in size. Not only at the tips of the stem and the root, but they are also present in the growing young leaves. These are the young leaves. So yes, they are also seen at the growing young leaves. Not only that, they are also seen at the axillary buds. तो जहाँ पर जो कली होती है ना, axillary buds, तो जो भी flower होगा या leaf होगा, तो that's going to grow really fast. Why? Because they are rapidly dividing cells. Okay. So yes, apical meristem generally present at the tips of the root and the stem, present at the tips of the young leaves, also present at the tips of the axillary buds. What is it responsible for? It is said to be responsible for increasing the length of the plant, which is said as the primary growth. What it is called as primary growth of the plant. इस तरह से this growth is called as primary growth of the plant. Okay? Now, cambium or lateral meristem. Where is this meristem located? Now this meristem is located below the bark of the plant. Now this is the stem part. Okay. Here is your apical meristem. Please focus on this diagram. This is your apical meristem. This highlighted portions are your middle part of the stem. Okay. So at this part is this portion is called as cambium, right? Here is present your lateral or cambium meristem. Okay. Now what is this lateral or cambium meristem required for? This meristem is responsible to increase the diameter of the plant body. Okay. So diameter of the plant is also called as girth. Girth is this side, चौड़ाई. ठीक है. खा के generally what happens is we increase in this size. Okay, what's happening to us right now? We just eat and we sit. We are eating and we are sitting in one place. So we are increasing in our girth, not in our length. Okay. So this is what happens to the plant body. The plant body, if the cells keep on getting added onto the cambium portion or the bark portion, the plant increases in its girth. Okay, that is in the diameter, right? So this was all about the two types of meristem, the apical, also called as terminal meristem, and the cambium or the lateral meristem. Knowing the general characteristics of the cells which are present in the meristematic tissue. As I said, since it's a tissue, it is made up of group of cells. So, first, the cells are quite small in size. They are cubical in shape, and they have large nucleus. Since their key role is cell division, yes, the nucleus has to be large and prominent. Apart from that, the cell wall is very thin. plant cell है तो definitely it will show the presence of cell wall apart along with the cell membrane. Okay, vacuoles are absent. Can you all see these two question marks? Huh? These question marks are for you all to think on why vacuoles are absent. Please think of why vacuoles would be absent in the cells of the meristematic tissue. The answer is somewhere in this part only, what I have just mentioned. Okay, the answer to this question is the vacuoles are absent because in plant cell vacuoles are generally large and they are permanent. Okay, so if in the meristematic cells you would see vacuoles, then they would cause hindrance in the process of cell division, and therefore in the meristematic cells you would not see any vacuoles. Cells are, I hope the reasoning for this is clear. Yeah, cells are tightly packed with no intercellular spaces between them. Cells are actively dividing cells, thereby they keep adding new cells to the plant body. New cells which are being produced are transformed into the matured permanent tissues. Okay, that means when the new cells are being keeping on added to the plant body, somewhere they stop the process of the cell division and then they take up a permanent function, thereby getting converted into the second type of the tissue, that is your permanent tissue. Okay, so the permanent tissue topic I would be continuing in the next